is dedicated to her. So.
Oh, okay. Well, we are now live for a second time. Just as Mr. Roy, let's see it one more time. Can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
This!
Yes!
Sweet victory! Ah. Mr. Roy, that just makes me so happy. Just makes me so happy. So, anyway, welcome back to OMB Reviews. Thank you for putting up with all of the nonsense of me trying out new things, which is why I'll be doing a lot of testing this coming week to make sure that if there ever is a change again, that it is it's not terrible. But anyway, thank you again for joining us. This is episode 256 of the Welcome to Asgard podcast, take 2. And again, in case I don't cut together both episodes in some capacity, shout out to Toph Morris, who is a podcast backer. And shout out to Stephanie B., who is one of the Valkyries, who's in the chat tonight. We are going to go ahead and reintroduce everybody, just so that way everyone can get their fair due. So we're going to start off with Mr. Roy, though, because there were some technical issues going on earlier. So, Mr. Roy, how is it going?
Pretty good.
After all that.
I needed to hear that, though, because after everything going on, I'm not good. So I'm glad that you're doing well. What's been going on for you, though, Mr. Roy? Anything fun you've been doing the last couple weeks?
Nah. Working mostly.
Working mostly. Okay. You still got those long shifts?
Yeah, they try to cut my hours, and then they tell me, nah, just come in anyway. It's like, what's the point?
So, starts off, cut your hours. Oh, wait, never mind. Just work all the time instead. Oh,
they're literally like, ignore the schedule. Just come in for full shifts.
Do they just tell you this at random? Like, you just have to figure it out for yourself?
No, they know I show up for work every day, so they're like, yeah, just come in because someone's going to call in. I was like, okay.
So they're just like, we know people aren't going to show up anyway, so, hey, might as well.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being here, Mr. White. I'm so glad that we were able to finally figure that out and get that working. So.
Yeah, it was weird because it'll pick up I have a headset with a microphone interface, and it'll pick it up for about a minute and then it'll just drop it. And I couldn't figure it out.
Okay. So you're streaming through a computer then?
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. I'll have to test it out. Yeah, because I'll be doing some tests during my morning streams, and I'll try and do like phones and phone browsers and stuff like that, because it looks like Melon app is still a bit young as far as being able to handle a lot of these things. So I'll be doing some tests with Restream, because Restream has always been well as far as sending out the stream. So I can't imagine that it wouldn't be good also from the studio perspective as well. Because again, these work, right? These streams work, but I liked being able to have us all like in one room together. I don't know. There's just something about it. I get to highlight everybody and highlight comments. There's just something that's fun about that. But, that's just my ADD brain going on and dribbling on. But Mr. Roy, thank you for being here.
Appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely. And once again, reintroducing Rosetta Allen, who has been dealing with a cat named Ornery, who is being a little naughty today. Is that correct?
Finally got hauled out of the room. Steve came in time to hear us cheering that Roy could actually speak, and he just rolled his eyes and walked out with her.
He's just like...
I don't even want to know. Whatever's going on, I'm going the other way.
Well, Rosetta, thank you, as always, for being here with us. And I hope that you're feeling okay. Are you feeling comfortable in that position? Because I know that you've been doing a lot of work. I assume that it was for the Eagles book.
Well, okay. We had our anniversary and all that stuff, so we decided we were going to do my photography work, which isn't just Eagles, but the Eagles is what I'm trying to focus on first. And so we went together for anniversary and went up these different areas and doing hikes and stuff like that and out in the sun. And that's why I'm glad to be in the shadows right now, because I'm kind of burned and I've got freckles everywhere, very obviously.
So you're fair skinned like I am.
my back's not happy. Yeah, I am one of the whitest Indians you will ever meet in your life.
Let's say at least mine makes sense because I'm Irish, and we found out fun. I don't know if anyone's done those like Ancestry.com things, but we found out like obviously I'm like 30% Irish, but then we found out that we're also, or at least I am, me and my family, or me and my siblings were like a pretty high percentage like English as well, which we didn't really ever like think about. So it makes a lot of sense.
That makes you more like Will.
It does, and that means that you're automatically going to hate me even more because of that, because of your hatred of UK people.
It's not hatred, it's mocking. There's a difference.
So this is what, oh, you know what? This now makes a lot more sense as to why you've mocked me for so long. It's because you knew all along that there was English inside me.
There was something wrong with you. I mean,
at least 17% something wrong with me based on the numbers that they gave me. But Rosetta, thank you for being here again.
No worries. So when I can move my back, I'll be at the computer. But for today, I'm told to rest. So
good. Yes. Make sure you get that rest. Absolutely. We also got the K-Man, second time. How's it going for you, good sir?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good.
Hey, if these streams weren't like this, it'd be boring.
Oh, cold.
Well, that's very cold. You're trying to say I'm boring? How dare you? Thank you, yes. But yeah, I agree. I think a lot of us need a little, we had been doing well for so long with things just working really well and like a well-oiled machine. It was about time, right? It was about time that we had some issues pop up. So
a little mayhem.
A little mayhem, right? A little mayhem makes the world go around, as they say. Well, K-Man, are things still crazy in your neck of the woods?
A little bit. They still like to have their so-called little parties every night.
Oh.
And at least it's not as bad as what it was, but I think the worst of it was probably about maybe a week ago.
Okay. Interesting.
And they just need to, as long as they can stay quiet and for at least another couple more months, and then after that, they can have all the fun they want.
Because you'll be gone.
Yeah.
Because you'll be out of there.
You should go out there, K-Man, and be like, if you guys could keep this down until like mid-August.
Just go out there with like a little camera, like do it vlog style and just be like, hey guys, could y'all just, keep it down for just like this length of time? And then like even like give them a date. On this day, go crazy. Have fun. Have your fun.
Oh yeah. All they gotta do is they keep it down to the last week of August, and then I'm good.
Okay. Well, hopefully that all works out. Thank you for being here.
No problem.
Absolutely. We also have joining us once again, Tina, who is the Empress of the Universe. She is one of the mods, and finally, she's also no longer delayed either. So, Tina, how is it going?
It's going okay. It's going okay.
Yeah.
Stephanie says she might not be able to respond right away because she's driving to her yoga class that she's teaching. So while she's listening, Laura already almost got me. She was just like Tom Cruise, and she was getting me started on my rant. But no, Soul Assassin, the last show, he was like, "You didn't rant." And I was like, there was nothing to rant about. And then that Monday after we did the show, it was just like, oh, y'all just throwing stuff into my lap. So,
so you're like, I'm now collecting a bunch.
I am collecting. I'm
Yes.
making notes. So while Stephanie is listening, I'm going to do prologue to my rant.
Oh, a prologue. Okay.
A prologue. And this is dedicated to Stephanie because the
Okay.
two of us have talked about this. But I call this a quiet place, aka sometimes it's best to keep your big mouth shut so I don't have to call you names.
I like her.
Oh.
Okay. I told you a while back, never saw the first Quiet Place. And then I was kind of curious. And then I saw Mahler's review. And it was like, there is no way I'd be able to ever look at that movie without laughing. because he just brought up so many plot holes and everything. Okay, I don't even have an issue with that. I'm glad that Quiet Place 2 beat Cruella at the box office. Here's my issue. That's the reason why I said it's best to keep your big mouth shut sometimes. I have an issue with Miss Blunt. And this is going back a few years. And I'm going to just say up front, I'm getting too old to keep separating the art from the artist. Okay, a few years back, she became an American citizen. I remember hearing about that because I was thinking, I know that's difficult. You're giving up your birth country to become a citizen of another. There are people that are on that wait list for years, legally trying to get into this country. Okay. All right. She got ticked off about something that I think Bush did. And she dropped this comment, I'm sorry, I became an American citizen. Now, I guess her agent called her up and said, Emily, you can't say that because people are going to get upset with you. Yeah, well, it was too late because I remember that. Stephanie remembers that. I only see her movies by accident. If I'm sitting and I'm watching something and I'm going, oh, Emily Blunt was on Midsummer Murders. Oh, okay. Well, she died at the end. Good. Oh, she was in the David Suchet episode of Death on the Nile. Oh, okay, fine. She died. Good. Oh, she played Catherine Howard. Wife number 5. Oh, she got beheaded for adultery and treason. Good. So, no, I don't like her. No, I will never see one of her movies because here's what I'm thinking. Number one, all the people that she jumped ahead of because I'm Emily Blunt. I'm married to somebody on The Office. So they just hand her a citizenship that she tells everybody, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I became an American. Yeah, so am I. You have to learn when you're born in a country. Do you know how many presidents I've not suffered under where I had some kind of syndrome? Do you know but I didn't agree with their policies? But one little thing kind of upsets her world, Emily's world. And so Emily's like, oh, I'm sorry, I became a citizen. Yeah, give it up to somebody that deserves it and go back to where you came from. That was for Stephanie.
Sounds fair.
So, no.
I'm good with hating her anyways because she's an overrated crappy actress.
I don't even know that much about her. I know she's in that Shampoo, Rinse, Repeat movie with Tommy Mapother. Don't care. She could be the most talented actress in the world. Don't care. That's part of being a citizen of a country. Sometimes your country does stuff that you don't agree with. We've got somebody in the Oval Office now that I don't even know if he knows he's in the Oval Office. But then I'm not a celebrity like her that I can just go and say, I'm sorry, I'm an American. There's like these idiots that, oh, if Bush becomes president, I'm going to leave the country. If Trump becomes president, I'm going to leave the country.
Why won't they leave already?
Leave. They never do.
I always sit there. I don't care which side. If we're going to leave the country, freaking leave.
Ever since I was a kid, I would hear that. Oh, if Nixon gets reelected, I'm going to leave. If Ford gets elected, I'm going to leave. If Reagan gets elected, I'm going to leave. Leave. Please, go. Leave. But as far as Emily Blunt, I can't judge her performances. I'm not going to. Like I said, I'm tired of this trying to separate art from the artist. And with her, since she's not even a blip on my screen, except now she's in a movie that has been very successful. The sequel has. They're talking about doing a third one. Fine. Tina will never see it. Now, if you all advise me that Quiet Place Alien ripped out her spine and drank her blood, I might check it out. That was the prologue.
That's the prologue.
That got me going. Because that's one of those things. Why don't they ever just leave when they say they will? Get out. We don't want you.
Well.
And that's on both sides. If you go, oh, I'm going to leave. Good. Get out.
I have two things to say in response. One, I actually am a fan of her acting personally.
That's fine.
Yeah, I liked her. Really good film. I would recommend. I mean, obviously, I don't think you. Yeah, you'll never see it. But
I'm with Tina.
Edge of Tomorrow is a really good movie, and it features Tom Cruise as well. So
double blow.
Yeah. Well, it's a great film. But in lighter news, in a lighter response, when y'all were saying Get Out, all I could think of in the back of my head was a little song. It was a little song written by a young artist named JoJo. And it went like this. Get out right now. It's the end of you and me. It's too late. I can't wait for you to be gone, 'cause I know about her. I wonder why I bought all the lies.
This is awkward.
You would treat me right, but you was just a waste of time. You're welcome, everybody.
She is.
Can we all focus on my kitty, please? Athena came up to say hi.
That's all I could think of when they kept saying "Get Out" was that song, because it's just it's a go-to song of mine. But Tina, thank you for being here again.
Stephanie,
because we're still in the intros and.
Stephanie, that was for you, because we have talked about that so much. So that was for you. I hope you got to hear it. She said flawless victory. Yes!
Boom. There you go.
Boom.
Well, thank you for joining us, as always. And
you're welcome.
Absolutely. And then last to introduce, we have the modern Major General of the channel. She is waiting for Nerdrotic, as all of us are constantly waiting for Nerdrotic. And many of you today were even waiting for Odin, or waiting for Melon. But she is Laura. Laura, how's it going?
Hi.
After all that, you just have to say hi.
Yeah. Hi. How's it going?
Oh, it's going. You know, it's okay. I'm doing okay.
The introvert is shutting down, so I'm gonna go fold some laundry.
Okay. Yeah, I'm about to say.
Oh my god.
Yeah. About to say.
The introvert needs a quiet
place? Are you gonna say that it needs a quiet place?
Part Laura.
Part 1 and part 2.
This is gonna be a stream today, boy. Let me tell you what.
Oh yes, and it already is because of all the technical issues. But
brace yourself.
Yes, Laura, thank you as always for being here.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely. We do have some people in the chat, and I cannot highlight your chats because of doing things the old way, but hey, at least everyone on stream is here. We're hearing each other, we're talking to each other, and yes.
You're doing things the old way, and yet you still have no 80s knowledge. What do you know about the old way?
I don't. However, my Akira Kurosawa knowledge has grown exponentially the last week, and I'm currently about halfway through a 1985 film called Ron by Akira Kurosawa, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. So, 2 birds with one stone, 1980s, and also Akira Kurosawa. All right. We also got people in the chat. The Hunker Chunky Funky Monkey was here first saying, and here we go. Absolutely. Thank you for being a member on the channel, good sir. He says, trolling. Keep that monkey trolling. Thought the stream re-rolling. Rawhide. Nice. Very nice. GMonkey76 in the chat. We got Bruce in the chat. Rob D in the chat. Force Coach Jeremy in the chat. Hail to you. We, of course, got Stephanie B. Thank you very much for being here to mod. And also, I hope that your classes that are about to start are going to go swimmingly. We also got Laura, who is hanging out in the chat as a mod as well, saying, we did it! Yes, indeed. Or as one of my nieces says, we did it! It's very cute. The K-Man here, it's an old phone commercial. Can you hear me now? Good, exactly. Right on, K-Man. Hunker Chunky says, Rosetta, show off Pikes Peak. You know the one I mean.
I am not showing off your photoshopped meme of one of my nature photos.
Ah, I see.
Besides, I can't do it on this device anyways. I can't go to the computer.
There you go. Well, hunky chunky. That's just how it is. Rosie G12 back again. Rob D back again as well. And yes, Heimdall is on, keeping the cookie counts going. Awesome. Going live too. Golden Ration in the chat. Inferior, who's a member, hail to you. And as I was saying in the last stream, there is now a new code word. So instead of Odin question, it's now just @Odin. And just put it at the very beginning of your comment in the future. And that'll be the way things go. Of course, today, being the Chosen of Valhalla Day, we'll be focused on the Chosen of Valhalla. But every now and then, I go back to the chat if there's a question or a topic that came up. So just keep that in mind as we move forward. Today can kind of be a test run of that, just like it's been a test run of a lot of things, including, as Laura had mentioned, the introvert. Me too. Part of me is like, there's a medicine I could take to help out right now, but it's upstairs, so I'll just make do. Rob D says, a guy I used to know, and now again, songs in my head. Somebody that I used to know, somebody. A guy that I used to know, says Rob D. You're welcome. When I was at ShopRite, got his hours cut. They told him work 40 hours, but we'll pay you for 30. He quit right away. Dude, yeah. Oh, I'm pretty sure that's also illegal.
Yeah, that is.
You can't say work for 40, we'll pay you for 30. Now, they could have, I assume, because this is something that came up when I worked at AMC, when the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, went through. It actually messed with a lot of the part-time workers at AMC because a lot of them were working like 50, 60 hours by choice because they were able to make a decent amount of money to pay their rent and everything like that. And, a lot of them were young and didn't feel the need to have insurance or had a very, like, one of those, like, emergency only type insurances where it's, it's like the high deductible or whatever it is. But once that went through, AMC was forced to not allow them to be able to work that much, or else they would have to give them health insurance. And because of that, a lot of them had to end up working 2 or 3 jobs just to be able to make up what they had been making. And so, yeah, Rob D, that I imagine is probably what maybe sparked that. Maybe not, but definitely something that I can relate to because I remember a lot of people who had issues. Orange Review says, okay, take 2. Let's see how it goes. Oh, wait, there's audio issues. Cut. Check the gates. Just kidding. Thank you, Orange Chat, for almost giving me a stroke. Mr. Peabody says, I need your cat's whiskers in case I break a guitar string. Talking to Rosetta to donate cat whiskers. I don't know how well those would work as guitar strings, but I'm sure Ornery would love that. As all cats, I'm sure, would love to donate their their whiskers. Hugger Chunky says, oi, oi. Gotta say it properly. Oi. We English are jolly fine chaps. Except Will. He's a toss spot. Oh, really? Peabody says, if Odin was 17% wrong, I'm definitely screwed. Oh, no, you're just upside down, Peabody. You're just upside down. Rosie G12, I'm so pasty, I think I may be part vampire. My shins glow in the dark. It's not a good look. I can relate to that. I can definitely relate to that. Hunky Chunky, they can have my DNA. It's useless anyway, so joke's on them. Oh,
ouch.
Yeah, about to say.
Sorry, I was dealing with Steve a minute.
Yeah, no problem. And then ZK Man and Laura were grabbing popcorn for that intro rant. Orange Hat Reviews said, release it, Odin, release your shock. And then the K-Man, I don't know which is better, Tina's rant or Odin's reaction. Yeah, it was,
He didn't see that coming.
I was just like, well then. 8-Bit Snake Boy, welcome back to the chat. Let's see. Rosie G12, maybe Blunt should direct her comments to all the veterans who saw Action in My Family along with all the other big mouth little brain Hollywood folks. I definitely agree with that for sure. Orange Chat says, Tina needs to have her own channel. Tina Rants. Well, she does have a channel on Odyssey that she could start streaming to at any time. So, Hunker Chunky says, spine ripping, blood drinking. Sounds like a normal Tuesday night for me. Interesting. Very interesting. Peabody then says, yep, Nerf guns. Some clown in the eastern states had his Nerf gun registered as a firearm, so now they are going for the rest of his Nerf collection? That sounds amazing. That sounds amazing. Anyone with Nerf gun collections out there, be careful. ATF might go for you if you register it as a firearm. All right. Well, with that being said, let's go ahead and go down the panel and see what people have been watching as far as movies, television, or other projects that they have been working on. So starting again with the order that we have now. Rosetta Allen, what you been doing? What you been working on?
I'm trying to work on the other stuff. Haven't done much other than the drives and trips since it hasn't been that long since the last one, but I have just the desk to set up, and then I can start moving the computer and chairs and stuff into the new art room, and then I'm going to kind of sequester myself for about a week and try to finish up the Eagle book. So hopefully get that done in the next couple of weeks for all that. Just other than that, haven't gotten to watch much because been more talking with Richard and helping people out with stuff and that kind of things.
Okay, cool. How is he and how's he doing? Or can you not say?
Most of it I'm not gonna say. I'll just say, God, he needs our prayers.
Okay,
he's dealing with a lot.
Absolutely. Prayer intentions always welcome here for
just
sure.
Like I gave you guys the PayPal before. Trust me, he could use any help right now.
Okay.
That's about all I can really say, though.
Okay. Absolutely. We'll be doing that. So last time we talked, the Eagle book was getting pretty close, right, to being officially launched. So where are we with that?
That's what I'm thinking is I just need to actually be able to be by myself for a few days to finish writing up all the text and proofreading and get ready for have somebody else proofread over me and edit. Mm-hmm. But I just need to get into the other room where I can focus and I don't have all the distractions and everything else going on. And then I just need to be alone for a few days and work.
Yeah.
Which, tell my husband that. I love him, but it's constant. How you do it? Do you need this? What do you want? Or, honey, I miss yours. I can't. Let me finish. Let me finish.
So just need a little alone time.
But then again, we've been married 15 years, and he's still that mushy towards me is good.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those things where it's like it comes with its benefits. It comes with its it comes with its costs and benefits, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is. I sit here thinking over it. 18 years since we started dating. 15 married now.
Nice. Very cool. By the way, Hunky Chunky has a comment for you saying, yeah, hurry up with the Eagle book. I'm waiting for those recipes.
Hunky, can you save your trolling me till we go back to my stream, please? You guys think this is bad? You should see the stuff he actually says in my streams.
Well, it kind of reminds me of the Discord chat. Because the Discord has a channel dedicated to, hasn't been active in a long time, but it's the Porg Cookbook. So it turned into just people posting like recipes and pictures of the food that they were working on and everything. But it all started back during Last Jedi era time, and yeah, it's so funny though how that typically happens in that way. So anything else, Rosetta, that you want to share? Talk about.
My dad is 63, but remember they said he wasn't going to live past 30.
Okay. Well, did he just turn 63?
Yesterday.
Well, happy birthday.
Oh.
Happy birthday, Mr. Rosetta Allen. Or Dad
No.
Rosetta Allen Dad? Dad Rosetta Allen? Dad Rosetta? Dad Allen! I don't know how to proper, but happy birthday to you,
Alan's
good sir.
A married name. Give it up. You lost.
Well, a happy birthday to him. What did y'all do? Did y'all do anything fun to celebrate the big 6-3?
Well, he's a ways away from me right now, and I have the funds for that big of a trip this year, so mostly just talked to him a while on the phone.
Okay. Isn't the birthday typically when he tries to do the hike?
When he's done the hiking is usually either he's hiking in the Badlands when we can get together with family, or they first weekend in June, and then the last Sunday of September they do the Volks March, which is when you can actually climb up Crazy Horse, which is what I'm planning to try to do again. But yeah, we'll see how well that works with my back right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely gonna heal up the back first, and then tackle that. Because how long of a hike is that?
Just over 6 miles up the mountain. So yeah.
Oof.
When you're dealing with mountain and going up and you're in high altitude and stuff and it's hot, at least it has a trail, but it's still a pain in the rear.
I mean, you had me when you said 6 miles. I'm like, oh Lord, 6 miles. That's already enough. And then 6 miles up. Oh, I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah, I did the Crazy Horse one about a year and a half, just over a year and a half ago was the last time I did it.
Okay. Nice.
So I need to do it again.
Nice. Very cool. Anything else?
All the trolls out there. Nah, 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 nah.
It is the only real proper response to trolls. Among other things.
Is it bad that I screenshot it just so I could laugh at their stupidity later, no matter how horrible of things they say?
I wouldn't say it's bad necessarily. I mean, it definitely catches them for posterity. And I would say to them, especially if they are using like public names or anything like that, could easily come back to bite them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Big time. Well, Rosetta, thank you as always for being here. And when we do our wrap up, if you can think of anything else that you want to talk about or share, you just let me know. All righty. Absolutely. Mr. Roy, what you been watching recently?
Not much. I didn't get a chance to watch anything. Hardly any. I watched the second Conjuring film.
The second one. Okay, so you had because the last time you had seen the first one, right?
Yeah, I've seen the first one. I believe when it came out.
Okay.
Actually, when. Yeah, I thought that was a good movie. This one is. I like it, but I don't think it's as good as the first one.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard some say where there's like typical like with other franchises where you have people that are just like diehard fans of the franchise, and I hear that typically most people like general audiences really like the first one, and then the second one people who are like a fan of the actual story like it more than the general, like it was more popular amongst them than it was among generals or something like that. Is that how you kind of feel with it, where you personally really liked it a lot and thought it was a good continuation of the story?
Yeah, it's a really good continuation of the story. I just felt like it kind of relies a little too much on jump scares, and the first film kind of builds its suspense up over the course of the film, and this film just kind of out of the gate.
Oh no! Yeah, because
I still recommend it.
Because so basically the first one, just to like, the first one would you say the first one's more like psychological thriller, and then the second one's more of like the traditional jump scare?
I wouldn't say traditional jump scare. It's just it relies it relies on jump scares a little too much.
Okay,
but it's still, I think it's better than most crap that's come out in the past decade.
Oh, I absolutely. I mean, yeah, the fact that it has such an immense following and it's done pretty well box office wise every time. I mean, they just released a third one, so and they've had spinoffs even, because wasn't the film Annabelle a spinoff of The Conjuring?
I believe so. I'm not seeing it. I know there's another one I believe called The Nun.
Yeah,
there's like 6 or 7 of these films, I believe.
Yeah, and in order for you to be able to have not only a franchise that has 3 movies in and of itself, but then also has several other movies that are stemming off from it, really does, again, stresses and shows that it's obviously a very successful franchise that has a lot of fans.
Yeah, there's 8 films and 2 more coming up.
Yeah. Oh, wow. We said 8 more?
there's 8 films total, and then there's 2 more coming up.
Oh my goodness! Wow. So like 2 more of the like official Conjuring universe movies, or like 8 films in the universe?
There's 8 fully released films, and 2 more are future.
Wow.
One was not even titled yet, but yeah.
Wow.
I didn't know there was 8. I thought there was about 4 or 5.
I know, absolutely. I say that's a little too many, I think, personally. But I mean, this is also coming from someone who's a fan of the Fast and Furious franchise up until 6, of course. But
oh Lord,
that is interesting that it's done that. So all right,
I'm rolling my eyes at you.
I could see, I could feel the eyes rolling from multiple people. You and Tina especially, definitely rolling your eyes at me. So you were able to see Conjuring.
What?
Never. What? Me? Never. Me and Steph never make fun of Odin in the chat for being a fan of that. So you were able to see the Conjuring. You're able to see the Conjuring 2. Anything else were you able to see?
That's pretty much it. I rewatched Speed in 4K.
Okay.
Yeah.
How was it in 4K? Was it like a really good transfer?
Oh.
Yes. Really good transfer.
Nice. I always like to hear that.
Yeah, surprising since it's coming from 20th Century Fox after they were bought by Disney.
Okay. Gotcha. Wait,
Can I make one comment real quick here?
Yeah, sure.
Tina, your fake innocent voice is really bad. You sound so guilty.
She sounds a little bit like
What?
Mark.
No. You sound guilty.
Mark Wahlberg from The Happening. That's what I'm hearing. What? No.
No.
Oh man. So anyway, losing my voice now. And I lost my train of thought. What were we talking about, Mr. Roy?
Speed in 4K.
Speed in 4K. Okay, gotcha. So yeah, you mentioned 20th Century Fox. So has the 4K been out for that long, since before they were acquired by Disney?
Nuh-uh.
Okay.
I believe the story behind this, they were in the middle of the process of doing the transfer when they were bought by Disney.
Okay.
So this may not have anything to do with Disney.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, I actually sat on this one because being part of Disney's known for releasing bad 4Ks. So like, yeah, I was going to wait for reviews, and yeah, it turns out it's a pretty good transfer.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, I'm wondering if they maybe did the smart thing and like kept the team who was in charge and kept them on to make sure that it was, consistent throughout the process.
Because they really suck.
They do.
Disney sucks.
In fact,
really,
it might be safer for me to sing that song than to say something else. Because we all know what happened the last time that I tried to say the hashtag. But yeah, Disney sucks. They really suck. Okay, but it's good to hear that they are at least doing some things right. So they are doing things like this release on 4K of the of Speed, and I think there was a few other projects that were in the process at Fox as far as like transfers. And I think we're still, I forget which ones, but I feel like there were still others that we were waiting on their transfer to go through and to be completed. But obviously when Disney took up all the Fox properties, a lot of that stuff kind of got caught, in the production hell, one might say.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember there was 2 films specifically. I forgot what the other one was. Yeah, but I mean, man, this was a fun film to watch.
Oh yeah,
I had seen it in a long time. Some of the stuff's over the top, and there's some stuff that don't make sense, but it's a fun film to watch.
Yeah, because it was I had seen it for the first time this year. I remember because it was like people had recommended it, and then when people found out that I hadn't watched it, they were like, "What? You haven't seen it?" And so I put it on my list of things. I was able to get the Blu-ray for it and everything. And the story really is a lot of fun. And it was one of the things where I was so sad that it'd taken me so long to see it, because I think I would have enjoyed it even more had I seen it earlier in my life. But I'm glad to see it. Kind of speaks to, I think, the fact that it held up, where I'm still able to enjoy it, even with the cheesiness and everything this far away.
Yeah, I watched it. I was like, yeah, these lines come off as cheesy, and Dennis Hopper's acting's kind of over the top,
and I want to say that was the one issue I had. I think I mentioned that in my review. Was Dennis Hopper was too much, like he was just too much for me to handle. Because
I love it, but I reckon it's over. It's way over the top.
It reminded me of him as
what movie have you seen?
What was that?
What movie have you seen him in where he wasn't over the top?
Yeah, I was
Dennis
about
Hopper.
to say.
Wasn't it early in his career where he was not as over the top?
No.
Was he the one that was an Easy Rider?
Yeah.
Wasn't he normal? Well, I mean, by normal, I mean that movie obviously is, I mean, anything but normal. But like compared to like his crazy over the top stuff, like.
Well, yeah, I guess compared to Apocalypse Now, and I think he was high when they filmed him in Apocalypse Now.
Oh, yeah, wow. he was really messed up.
Yeah.
Oh goodness. Yeah, because all I can think of is his portrayal as, wasn't it King? Was he supposed to be like King Koopa or something like that? In
Mario Brothers.
Yeah, Mario Brothers. Yeah, because I had seen 2 movies with him in these crazy over-the-top performances this past year, because I saw him in Speed, and then this year was also the first time that I was ever able to watch Waterworld as well. And he also plays a crazy over-the-top character in Waterworld, amongst all the other crazy stuff that happens in that movie.
And see if you looked at David Lynch movies, his role in Blue Velvet is the most over-the-top of all.
Then I think I'll have to hold off, because as I said, with the Speed one was already, I was like, I don't know about this one. That's a little too much.
There's also 2 scenes in the movie that didn't make any sense to me. The first one's when they're at the top of the building trying to get that hook down to the elevator. What's his name says they got 6 minutes left, and then they managed to get the hook all the way down to the elevator and then pull him up, and he's got 3 minutes. I'm like, how on earth does he do all that in 3 minutes?
Well, that was the other thing too, is that I was very confused at first, because obviously Speed, everyone thinks about the runaway bus. So when they started off in with the elevator and everything, I was just like, what in the world? So it's like you almost get 2 different movies, because you get a lot of time spent on that first scene, because obviously it's building up and developing the character that Dennis Hopper plays to lead into the bus story, but it's almost like there's 2 different films put together. And I actually really I think I enjoyed the elevator sequences more so than the bus sequences in certain respects, I think.
Yeah, the elevator scene and the subway scene were added after the script was written, because the studio didn't want a 2-hour film of a bus for 2 hours, so they added in those 2 scenes in.
Wow. Now, I haven't seen Speed 2 with the boat, but do they spend most of the time on the boat in that film, or do they also add other scenes to make it more broken up?
Do you own a copy of that?
I think yes I do, because I got the package that was Speed 1 and Speed 2.
Sorry.
Yeah,
say it. Go ahead and say it, girl.
Oh no, I can already read what she's saying.
Yeah, you're either gonna think it's atrociously bad or hilariously bad. I don't know how you
There's like no other option really when it comes to that one.
No, it's bad or it's really bad.
I paid money to see that at the movies.
Oh. So I take it that you didn't see it as many times as you saw Master and Commander.
Oh my God. All I kept thinking was, okay, Sandra Bullock's making her way through the police department because now she's dating somebody else on the LAPD.
So a police groupie? I mean,
that's what I was kind of thinking.
Anything else that you've been able to watch, Mr. Roy?
I was going to talk about the. You remember that subway scene? How does Keanu Reeves get on the roof?
Did they ever show him climbing it?
No, and they don't show Dennis Hopper doing it either. With the dead man trigger, as a matter of fact, he literally gets on top of the roof with one hand. How does he do that?
Wow. Well, I guess, because he's so crazy and over the top, I guess he just flung his body up, and it just worked. I don't know.
Yeah, when I was doing research on it, I was like, yeah, they added those 2 scenes in hastily. I was like, it makes sense now because those 2 scenes don't make a lot of sense.
Yeah. Wow. That's a good point. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like you don't ever think about it, and then you try and like rack your brain of, did they ever show that, or did they ever do anything that could possibly explain it? But yeah, I honestly, I've only seen it once.
Funny. Yeah, it's even funny after Dennis Hopper's death, they cut to Keanu Reeves just going through the door. You're like, you shake your head. It's like, how did he get down?
So it's like 2 big plot holes. How did both of them get up there? And then secondly, how did he get back down again?
Yeah.
I suppose there must have been a random hold, like how in different movies, like all of a sudden they are trains built with like the proper things they need to actually do like the climbing that they would need for that stunt. And it's like maybe those existed or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's I don't know. I just laughed when I saw that.
Yeah.
I was like, why did he see that before?
It's always amazing when you watch a film several times and you start to notice things that you'd never seen before. The one that I always talk about is from Addams Family Values, which is one of the greatest films ever made. And in it, when they go to Camp Chippewa and they're like introducing them, and you got Gomez there smoking the cigar, and be like, it smells of pine. At the very end of that sequence, when it's going up close on Joe Blicker and on Wednesday, in the background, if you pay attention, you can see Pugsley setting up a noose to hang himself. And it's like one of those things where, my family and I had watched it like, 20 plus times, like over so many different Halloweens and just times that we wanted to watch it. And then all of a sudden, one of those times we were watching it together, and I'm like, wait a minute, do y'all see what Pugsley's doing in the background? And then we had to rewind it, and we're like, oh my goodness, all the times you see something, and sometimes you never notice.
Yeah.
Maybe you're just oblivious.
I need to rewatch those.
Yeah. Oh yeah, both Addams Family's, the live actions, they're both fantastic. And people typically like Values more, but there's a lot of things in the first one that I also thoroughly enjoy.
Yeah, I enjoy both of them. I need to rewatch them.
Absolutely. Anything else you've been watching?
That's pretty much it. I'm halfway through Spartacus.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
series or movie?
The movie. It's the from 1960, I believe.
Okay, so like the well-known version.
Yeah, with Kirk Douglas.
Okay, gotcha.
I like it so far. The 4K looks phenomenal. It's almost up there with Ten Commandments.
Nice. Yeah, I've never seen Spartacus. I do believe that I own it. I think it came... They always do these package deals where they give you like multiple movies. And I want to say I either have that, which has a copy of it, or I bought it outright. But I'm pretty sure that I actually have that. And it's obviously it's been on my to-do list. But as everyone knows, I've been doing nonstop Kurosawa the past several days.
I wonder how far I can actually slide down and melt in the seat before I give up and get off the stream.
I think the proper question is, at what point do you become the meme of Homer Simpson who's just melting into the the background? Well, Mr. Roy, thank you for being here as always. And yeah, dude, I need to rewatch that Speed then and try and pay attention to see if there is any way at all that it can be explained about how they get on and off of it, because that's a good question.
Yeah, I'm scared to watch it again. I'm going to find more stuff wrong with it.
I know, right? Yeah, you never want to overanalyze a film to the point of it being like, now I don't like it anymore.
Yeah,
that's not good.
I hate that feeling.
Oh, yeah. Because the one movie that comes to mind for me that I feel that with is Inception. But it's a little different because I feel like that's a movie where, because it makes you think so much, it's like bound to happen where you're going to say, now, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense. But yeah. Well, when you do finish Spartacus, let us know how it is.
Okay.
Absolutely. The K-Man, how's it going?
Doing pretty good.
Awesome. You been able to watch any movies or shows?
Yeah, pretty much most of my watching has been Discovery Channel type stuff.
Okay.
Since I get it free through my phone company. But I have seen a couple of movies since the last time. Seen movies, 98 movie Hard Rain with had Morgan Freeman and Christian Slater, I think, in it as well.
Okay. All right.
And
Hard Rain. Hadn't heard of that one.
It's pretty much a somewhat of a action thriller where Slater plays a security driver for an armored truck, and during a rain is like during a time where they have a real bad rainstorm, and in order to stop a dam from overflowing, they were having to flood the city, and he gets caught in the middle of it all, and then Morgan Freeman actually plays a thief trying to steal the money from Slater in the movie.
So is it like, as a thief then, because I've never seen it, is it a villain character?
It's not really.
Okay.
It's just more or less, think along the lines of an old thief that wants to retire, and so he wants to make this his final run at trying to get the money, because I think it's like $3 million was in the truck. So
Okay. Because I was thinking about that, like when you mentioned him as a thief, I was like, you know what? To be honest, I can't think of a movie off the top of my head where Morgan Freeman plays a bad guy.
well, that was the thing about it, is that they actually, from what I understand, because I did some research on it, is that apparently they did a study to where they had to go back and reshoot things because of the fact that they didn't like the way that Morgan Freeman was portrayed in it, because nobody wanted to see him as being a bad guy.
And that makes a lot of sense to me, because I mean, you think of Morgan Freeman and you think of just good and natured guy, where even when he's a prisoner in a film like Shawshank, you're just like, I'm rooting for this person. Okay, very cool. So overall, you enjoyed the film?
Yeah, it's pretty good. Probably if I had to give it a rating, maybe a B-.
B-. Okay, very nice.
It's one of those deals where like it's not the best in the world, but it's a good little action movie. Just sit back and relax and watch.
Nice. Anything else?
Yeah, I actually this past week I actually went and saw A Quiet Place 2.
Okay. And you had seen the first one, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What did you think of the sequel?
I actually did enjoy it.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, most people, they say they enjoyed the first one a little better. Now, my thoughts on it might be a little bit different, just because of the fact that the one and only time that I seen the first one was during a time whenever I had pretty much went to see it, just because of the fact that I was aggravated about some stuff, and I just needed to take a break from the world. So my mind wasn't completely focused on it. So before I give a real heavy take as far as which one is better, I'm planning on going back and watching the first one again.
Okay.
But as far as the second one goes, it actually pretty good. For me, it was one. It's a little bit different from the first one. The first one was more suspense to me than anything. This one, it's a little bit more horror, because of the fact that they do bring out the aliens or monsters, whatever you want to call them, a lot more than what they did in the first one, as far as having them attack and whatnot.
Okay. Yeah, because I feel like is it made, because I guess think that's more important to me, because obviously people are going to enjoy different films that are in a series for different reasons. Is it made with the same quality as far as just good writing, good direction, things like that? Is that pretty much on par with the first one?
Yeah, it's pretty close to the same thing.
Okay.
There's only one or two things, not to throw any spoilers out there, but I will say there's one or two things that did aggravate me. That was more or less the characteristics of some of the characters, and you know, like things that they do, like why is this person doing this and whatnot.
Okay, all right. So motivations, some of them you're like, I'm not quite sure about.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and it's one of those things I feel like that is very. I think sequels in general and retellings are susceptible to it because you're trying to make something that you can not only have people of the original film enjoy, but then you're also trying to get new audiences in as well, which is always an interesting thing to see because to get a new audience for a movie where you kind of need to have seen the first one. I guess that would be another good question is, do you think the film presents itself in a way where it's able to give enough reminders of the first film where you are able to like pick it back up, or do you need to probably rewatch the first one to fully understand it?
Nah, I think they do pretty decent with given because they do kind of go back to the beginning, like when the aliens first come to Earth. They give a little backstory to that, and then it jumps right into where the last film leaves off after that and goes on from there.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because I know that part was in the trailer, and that was it's kind of cool for them to do that, I think, where they, you know, give a little bit of the backstory on that without going full prequel. So yeah, I kind of wonder, you know, at some point, are they going to try and do a like a full-fledged prequel if the first, I mean, because I haven't done the breakdown yet, because I actually, let me even pull up those numbers since we're talking about it. Yeah, but Conjuring came in at first place this weekend. Again, brand new film. But Quiet Place Part 2, interestingly enough, 19.5 million, it says here, in its second weekend. So a 59% drop from last weekend, which, remember, last weekend, a holiday weekend, a 59% drop is actually not bad. And right now, it is at $88 million domestically. And so oh man, let me check, because I remember everyone, not to, you know, continue. Yeah, so Godzilla vs. Kong, I remember a lot of people, when I was doing the box office videos for that, were like, oh, it's going to be the first film to break 100 million, or a lot of people were saying that. That is still at 99 million domestically. So theoretically, A Quiet Place Part 2 might actually have a chance of going and reaching 100 million domestically the first time since the pandemic, before Godzilla vs. Kong. That would be interesting to see, I think.
Yeah. I think it could do it too. I mean, like I said, it is one of those films where I don't feel like I wasted my money, and I would like to see it again just to see if there's anything that I might have missed the first time around.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a film I just want to see. And as I've mentioned, it's been obviously tough with, you know, baby Thor, but because my wife's got her best friends in this weekend, and through the next few days, I might be able to make my way to a theater. Because if I was going to see anything in theaters right now, it'd definitely be that one. Because it was one of my most anticipated films of last year, and then everything got, of course, pushed back and delayed. So I have just been like, it's killing me. Where I'm like, I can't believe it. Like normally, it's like I would have seen it opening night and everything, but hey, things got to change when you got the kids.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Anything else that you've been watching?
Pretty much about it. Like I said, other than that, it's mostly like science type TV shows and whatnot, because that's been one thing that I've always been into, is dealing with like space and then history itself.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much different shows with that.
Okay. What do you think would your like favorite out of all of them as far as subject matter is concerned?
Probably it's real close, but if I had to choose, it probably would be science, just for the fact that or space in general. Let's put it this way: if I was in Close Encounters of the Third Kind, I would have been the guy getting on the ship at the end.
Nice, very cool. You also, of course, for those that maybe have not watched or listened to the Chosen Streams before, ZK Man, he is an artist as well, and he has done a lot of really awesome work. When he released his album last year, he was donating the proceeds of that album to charity to help out, especially with a suicide prevention. and he has been working on some new projects with that. And then also, I remember last time you had mentioned that you're working on a book as well. So what are any updates to those 2 projects?
That one, as far as the book goes, I've written 1 chapter so far. Haven't decided how many chapters because it's more or less just going till I hit that spot where I'm like, yeah, this is a perfect way. Because I already know how I want to end it. I just need to figure out where I want to stop it to where it hits that ending just right. But yeah, as far as the writing goes, I've gotten 1 chapter done on it. Other projects, still in the works on trying to get a song done sometime. As far as I just gotta get time to sit down and try to get it recorded, but I'm hoping that if I can get it recorded before I move, that'll make it a lot easier on trying to release it, even if I don't release it until after I move. The hardest part to be out the way. But and then as far as like charity stuff goes, the 26th of this month, I have a walk thing where I'll be walking pretty much 16 miles overnight for suicide prevention awareness. So far, out of a $500 goal, I've raised about 300 of it for that.
Nice. Now, I remember you mentioned that last time, and I don't think I asked or I was even like thinking about it. Is there a way that is there like a link or something like that we can share if anyone wants to support you in that?
Yeah, I can try to bring up the link and send it in the or on Discord or something like that.
Yeah.
For you. And yeah, because they do have a page dedicated for me on the website to where they can donate directly through them.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. And so once I have that link, I'll be able to share that, and we'll definitely get that going for sure. Because one of the things that I love about our community is we're very supportive of each other, but also, especially when there's opportunities to help raise money for charity, I feel like we are the first ones typically to stand up and to do what we can. And I know that I would definitely like to also throw some support your way too, man, because that's, again, it's an amazing thing that you're doing there. And so, yeah, anything that we can do to help, just let me know. And yeah, once you got that link ready, just let me know, and then I'll be able to post that in the chat.
Definitely, because this one here, it's definitely one that hits close to home because of the fact that I've known people that either has tried it or has succeeded in it.
Yeah.
And because I mean, just get a little personal.
Yeah.
Is that to this day now, my dad, he passed away back in 2014, and we still don't know if it was accidental because it was a drug overdose.
Okay.
And so to this day we still don't know if it was an actual accident or if it was on purpose, just because of stuff that was going on at that time.
Okay. Yeah. And I know that sometimes in those cases it can be difficult, especially when you have prescriptions involved and things like that. And it can sometimes get really tricky. But yeah, also because I have a family member as well who had contemplated it, someone very close in my family. And I remember just how difficult that was, just having someone having the desire to attempt, like that already is already something, right? That is incredible struggle. And so thank you for sharing that about your dad. And obviously, prayers for him and prayers for your family as well, because I'm sure that even as the years go on, it's still tough. And it also helps to, I think, give us an understanding, an idea though, of where the inspiration comes from to try and help these charities out and try and bring, more attention to these things too. And so, thank you for sharing that, man. And let us know, of course, any way that we can help with your work, especially.
No problem, and I'll get y'all a link here in a minute. So.
Okay, awesome. Sounds good. And Tina is in the YouTube chat, and apparently she's having some connection issues. And I see that Laura had to drop out, might be back. So Laura, hopefully you can come back. That way we can get to you and talk about what movies and shows you've been watching as well. And so with that, K-Man, though, anything else that you want to talk about or share?
No, I think that's pretty much it as far as what's been going on here lately.
Okay. All right. Gotcha. Awesome. Well, so Tina, are you here?
Hello.
Hello, we can hear you.
Okay, I'm on Hangouts on my phone.
Okay. Gotcha. Cool. I'm glad to have you back. But also, once again, K-Man, thank you very much for sharing that. And again, we'll get that link out so that way you can go and help to support him with his. Is it a run or is it a walk, K-Man?
It's a walk.
It's a walk. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
if you want to go,
from
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I was just gonna say it starts around 6 or 7 that evening of the 26th, and it goes through the night until 16 miles has been walked.
Oh wow. Okay. So you're gonna be walking a whole 16 miles?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, dude. Well, dude, that's awesome though. And yeah, even more motivation, I think, for anyone who wants to, especially support K-Man, but also, of course, to support that charity as well. So yeah, thank you very much for that. And also, if you do want to help out and you do want to support the K-Man, you can follow him on his Twitter page. I'll go ahead and post that link for now. And he also has a link there to his Minds account and also to his website, xtheboundaries.co, which is that's specifically for your music, right?
Yeah, for the most part. I do have, I'm not sure if I updated it with the link to the walk thing or not. I'll have to double check, but if not, I'll still get you the link for it as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. All right, let's go ahead and just, before getting to Tina, I'm going to go see what's going on in the chat for a little bit. But before I do that, everyone's okay? Everyone's good? No one has to head out early or anything like that? I just want to double check since we don't have a private chat thing that's as easy to access here.
I'm going to have to duck out here in a sec.
Okay, so then, Mr. Roy, any last minute things you want to say, people you want to shout at or anything like that?
I don't have anyone to shout this month. I am checking out a channel right now, but I may end up shouting them out next month.
Okay. All right, gotcha, man. Well, do you want to mention them, or are you kind of like, I kind of want to wait and see if they're worth shouting out?
Yeah, he's an author. He's a World War II historian, but
okay.
I don't know enough about him. I don't like shouting out people. I don't want to shout out somebody and then figure out there's some crazy person on Twitter. So I want to make sure they're legit.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I totally understand that. All right, well, Mr. Roy, as always, dude, thank you so much for joining. Thank you for all your support, and let me know, of course, at any time if there's anything that you need from me. And you have a good one, man.
You too. Appreciate it.
All right, absolutely.
Bye, Mr. Roy.
Take care.
Yeah.
Bye.
I'm glad we were able to get you on too, because of the previous problems we were having. So everyone else is good?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So, yes.
Nope, just agreeing.
Okay, cool.
I just don't have a lot of voice right now.
Okay, gotcha. All right, well, let's go to a couple chats here. So Hunky Chunky says, Odin says, Hangouts never lets us down. Hangouts, hold my beer while I boot Tina. Yeah, pretty much. Today has just been the day of which all of the technical issues that could possibly happen have been happening. And it's just been, it's like the song.
To be fair, Tina used to have more trouble with the Hangouts a long time ago. I remember that.
Yeah. And last time, too, there was one hiccup, I remember.
Yeah.
Where there was like
God,
a double.
That was so long ago.
Yeah. And which is why we're gonna try and get her set up with a system that works. Orange Orange Hair Reviews says, I've been watching Die Hard movies for my Friday discussions. I feel I'm going insane as Bruce Willis is in those movies. I imagine once you get to the later ones especially, that will probably increase. Because
rather him than somebody else. Just saying.
Yeah. Those later ones, I think, especially go crazy. Go crazy. All right. I do have a link now that I can share. So, and again, if you want to support ZK Man and his walk to try and raise money for, again, suicide prevention, the link is posted right there in the YouTube chat. So please be sure to check that out and to show him some love and some support. And I'll put it over in the Odyssey chat as well, even though things are pretty quiet over there right now because of the restart, I'm sure, messing up all the algorithms everywhere. As Laura says, I yield my time to Tina. Well, Laura, if you want to jump back in, of course, the link is still available for you, and we'll see how that goes. And let's see, Orange Hat Reviews says, I have to watch 4 and 5 now because the 4th discussion is this Friday. I think, yeah, typically the way people, I think we even mentioned this on Friday Night Tights, where normally people look at the first 3 as being, you know, like solid. And then the 4th, I feel, is one where it's like kind of a mixed bag, where some think it's okay. For me, it's not a good movie, but at least it's like entertaining. But after that, it's just like, I just can't do it anymore. As Kara Tharp says, today is spa day for our Airedale Terrier Mocha, getting a summer haircut. Nice. Very, very cool. That's awesome, Kara Tharp. But thank you also to Kara Tharp for being in the chat. All right, Tina, what you been watching?
Sure. Oh, I haven't been watching much of anything.
Oh, really? I don't believe that for a second.
I'm living vicariously through your Kurosawa watch.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh. I'm trying to. Oh, okay. I was trying to wait for my letterbox to come up. Since we only had the last chosen, what was about 2-3 weeks ago, I just really haven't felt like watching a lot of movies. Mm-hmm. So that was probably one reason why I rewatched Riff Tracks Miami Connection.
Oh man.
Because I was like, I need something that'll make me laugh, and that movie will make you laugh. Okay, well, of the 3 other movies I saw besides that, and these were movies, well, one of them I had seen before.
Yeah.
I looked at The Phantom Thread, which was the last movie of Daniel Day-Lewis before he retired.
Yeah. Also, before going into that, are you far away from your microphone on your phone?
Oh, hold on. Can you hear me now?
It's just a little bit. It's just a little bit lower. I mean, we can still hear you, but I just to see if there was something that.
I had my phone sitting next. Well, it was on my desk, so I picked.
Okay. I don't know. It still sounds a little low, but that's okay. Go on and continue.
Oh, what?
Sorry. I'm sorry. So, Phantom Thread.
Phantom Thread. I've always been a big Daniel Day-Lewis fan. My mother, she really had the hots for him in Last of the Mohicans. And yeah, he was pretty hot in that too. So, but anyway, I've been watching him. The first movie I ever saw him in was A Room with a View, and he was not the lead. He was a co-star. Mm-hmm. And then, you start seeing In the Name of the Father and My Left Foot. And, I mean, the man could play almost anything. Mm-hmm. I didn't even know this was his second retirement. He retired a few years ago to make shoes. I don't know why, but anyway.
Is that really the reason, to make shoes?
He made shoes. I was like, I read that in one source and I was like, for real? And then I checked and it was like, unless they were all copying each other. Yeah, Daniel Day-Lewis, Oscar winner, makes shoes. So this is just an iffy movie for him to go out on. And I said in my Letterboxd review, at least he went out reasonably on top. Mm-hmm. I would say the same thing about Gene Hackman, Robert Duvall. because there are some actors that just keep working and working and working until, like with Al Pacino, then the only thing you remember is Jack and Jill and him dancing, or De Niro becoming a caricature of everything he's done in the past, or Harrison Ford, who is just like, yeah, just write me a check big enough so I can get another helicopter to crash. So you lose all your respect for them. So I'll give Day-Lewis that credit. At least, even though I had mixed feelings about the movie, it was critically acclaimed. So he kind of went out on top. So I don't have any, oh God, I wish Daniel Day-Lewis had quit making movies 10 years ago. That sort of thing. The movie just, I don't know. It was like after I watched it, and I didn't even write my review for a week because I kept thinking about it. So here's what it kind of boiled down to for me. The music was great. The costuming was great. The performances were great. And in the end, you had two people. One was a sadist and one was a masochist, and they got together and lived happily ever after. The end. And you saw the movie.
Yes, I did, unfortunately.
That sounds good to me. I'm sorry.
But the whole, I don't want to give any spoilers because somebody might want to watch it.
Yeah.
But the omelet scene near the end, I'm thinking, oh, he's going to drink her milkshake. That is exactly what he's going to do. And it didn't happen.
Yeah.
And so, and the worst line in the movie, the one that I went, oh, was when he said, kiss me before I throw up. And I went, oh.
Just what any woman, I think, wants to be told. Right?
I know.
Kiss me before I throw up.
Before I throw up. But I'm like, so they're perfectly happy together, but one's a sadist and the other's a masochist. So whatever.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and as you said, I watched it and it was just not. Yeah, we're talking about Phantom Thread, Kiko Rogers, and it just. Yeah, as you said, like sadist, masochist, like coming together. It's just such a dreary movie. It doesn't have anything, because even like slower films, as long as there's, a really good, like as long as there's a really good performance that you can kind of hold on and grasp onto, right? There's got to be something there. And this one is like the performance was fine. And it was just like, I
mean, I enjoyed his character in as much that it was so complicated that I loved how, like at breakfast, the noises were just like the way they had the sound design, the noises were just enhanced in his ears because he's trying to create, and just pouring a cup of coffee. He's hearing, I mean, we wouldn't hear it, but he's such a genius. He's hearing these minute sounds. And I'm like, okay, I can kind of see where his character's coming from. To be honest, I thought when they called it the Phantom Thread, here's my story. I'm thinking, okay, he's a designer during World War II, and he's sewing messages into these gowns of the mistresses and the wives of the Nazi officers who have occupied like Paris or something. And these messages are going out to the French resistance movement. I wish it had been that movie. Oh my gosh. But no, it was just like I said, I'm glad he retired on top, where Phantom Thread's not going to bother me because I have all his other movies.
It's not a bad movie by any means.
No. It's not a terrible movie, but I had to really think about it, and I gave it 2.5 stars because the performance, like I said, the performances are good. It's a great looking movie. I love those kind of costumes. It was like the 1950s, and even though I'm not into fashion, I love those stories about the fashion houses.
Yeah.
But wow. Yeah, absolutely. And they lived happily ever after and had a baby, I guess. That was weird. So, okay, so Miami Connection, friends through eternity, thick or thin.
There's the song. So Laura, if you're still in the chat, she wanted the rant, she wanted the song. She's gotten both.
Oh my gosh. I mean, it's no Ape versus Monster or Frankenstein Island. It's actually superior to both of those. So, I rewatched because I've seen it before. This is Spinal Tap.
Okay.
And I think it's funny. I know you were saying you were very iffy about it, but it makes me laugh, especially when the one guy says, we don't want to be like 80 years old up on a stage. And I'm like, well, Mick Jagger's about 200 years old and he's still at it. So I don't know. It's just something about this washed out group who are trying to stay on top, but their careers are so bad that they're playing like at state fairs where they used to sell out, these massive arenas. So, and it's got a lot of the people from Saturday Night Live. I saw Billy Crystal. I didn't even remember he was in it.
Yeah.
He plays a mute waiter. Dana Carvey is in it. I think he's another mute waiter.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you see all these people that if you were looking at, yes, Soul Assassin, it goes to 11. Oh my gosh. But it's just something about the movie. It's just silly, and I just kind of like those mockumentary types. So anyway, it was just I watched this after I watched Phantom Thread, so I needed it.
Oh, you needed a little bit of a break, yeah.
I needed a little. Well, because reasons. See, I'm one of those people that SNL for me is Dan Aykroyd, John Belushi, Jane Curtin, Gilda Radner, Eddie Murphy.
Amen.
Mm-hmm.
Eddie Murphy.
Amen.
I think the last time I watched it was when Phil Hartman was on it.
Oh, rest in peace, Phil
God.
Hartman.
Rest in peace, Phil Hartman.
That was so horrible what happened to
Yeah.
So I don't want, I'll hear you all do reviews and you'll throw out some name and I'm like, well, who is that? Oh, well, they're on SNL now. And I'm like, SNL is still relevant. It's still on the air.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when people were like, they
well,
wouldn't
one
even
of
go
those
out
things
on,
is true.
they,
one of those things is true. It's not relevant, but it is on the air. Let's get that corrected.
Well, and I remember when on Saturday nights, people wouldn't even go out. They had to see Saturday Night Live. It was a thing that you looked at.
I remember that as a kid.
So me too. So now it's just like I don't even know. Is it just there because they feel like it's still part of Saturday night? I don't know. I don't look at NBC anymore, so I don't know.
It's because they're stuck trying to live in the past while trying to push woke crap down your throat.
Well,
I actually meant to censor myself. I want applaud from Odin. I actually meant to stop that word.
Well, and when it comes to the original SNL, they made fun of everybody.
That's the thing. 80s and 90s, the comedy made fun of both sides. Even if they were hardcore on one side, they made fun of everybody. I can handle that. It's just
but now, I hear
propaganda shoved in your face over and over and over and over. They can't make fun of their own side because they think they're sacrosanct, even though they're the biggest jokes in the freaking world. I mean,
well, anyway, yeah, it was nice seeing some of the old SNL alumni that were good, like Dana Carvey. I forgot Billy Crystal was even part of it for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But and then the only other movie I saw is this interesting little movie called Stromboli.
Okay.
And it's on HBO Max. The only reason why I watched it is because back in the day, my grandmother and my mother had told me, someday you got to see Stromboli because that's the movie where Ingrid Bergman had an affair with the director, got pregnant out of wedlock, left her husband, and went to be with the director, and the baby was Isabella Rossellini. Okay, so I watched this movie because I'm kind of curious after all of that. Oh, Ingrid Bergman was also banned from the United States. She was denounced on the floor of the U.S. Senate as being pretty much, she's a slut. church groups and women's groups came out against her, and her career in this country collapsed until she won the Oscar for Anastasia in '56. But yeah, times have really changed.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because the only thing I knew about Stromboli beforehand was that Ingrid Bergman was in it.
Yeah. I didn't know the man who plays her husband. I think it's Mario Vitali. He was a fisherman, had been discovered by the director. He plays a fisherman in the movie. So he's kind of playing himself. It was a very uneven movie, and it's supposed to be part of the Italian neo-realism movement, where it's like they didn't really believe in sets and they wanted everything very natural. So that's what you're going to get. You're going to get this black and white movie that's set on a real island with a real volcano. They did a fishing scene that felt like a documentary that ran 10 to 15 minutes. So now I know more about fishing than I ever wanted to know in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's Ingrid Bergman going up the side of the volcano. It was just kind of uneven. And that one thing that kind of bothered me when I first saw her character in the movie, she's in a displaced women's camp after the war. And I was like, she looks too beautiful. And I mean, Ingrid Bergman was a natural beauty, but the problem was if you've got a character that has been through a world war, has lost everything, including her family, and she's still going to look that hot? Just saying, you know. So that kind of bothered me, and she's hot through the whole movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. And, you know, she's constantly telling us, I mean, the minute they pull up to this island, she hates it. Because it's scorched, because the volcano goes off all the time. The women don't like her. Her husband feels like he's being cucked. She'll do anything to get off this island. At one point, she even tries to seduce a priest.
Oh, Lord.
Because the priest tells her he wants to help her and her husband. It seems like a lot of people from the island have emigrated to either the United States, Australia, or Argentina. I didn't quite understand Argentina, but anyway.
Yeah. And
he tells her something about one of the people that used to live on the island died in the States and left the island $3,000 to maintain like the cemetery and all of that. And she throws out this line, well, what do the dead need with $3,000 when me and my husband need to get off this island? And I started looking at her and I'm like, wait a minute, is she trying to come on to the priest? Yeah, she was. And I'm like, nah, he's going to have to, I mean, he fought it off, but the problem was, I'm like, oh my God, he's going to have to say 1,000,000 rosaries because of her, you know, because of her trying to drag him into this sin. And I didn't like her character. I kind of understood where she was coming from, but it was just like, look, you married this dude you've only known for a week through barbed wire. He was in the POW camp. The displaced women's camp is next door. You've talked to him a few nights through the barbed wire, and he proposes. You barely speak Italian. He barely speaks English. What kind of a marriage do you think you're going to get? And like I said, the second they pull up to the island, she's just like, no, I'm ready to get out of here. I want to go. And he's like, this is my home. These are my people. Don't care. Got to get out of here. How much money do you have? Oh, that's not enough. I'm used to having the good things in life. I'm like, lady, y'all have been through a world war. Come off your high horse. The man's trying to do the best he can, and plus that, he was on the enemy side on top of it. Oh my gosh!
Well, it sounds like a winner of a movie, to say the least.
It had an interesting. In the opening credits, is in my Letterboxd review. It was from Paul's letter to the Romans. They quoted this one verse, which the verse kind of boils down to sometimes you're not looking for Jesus, but he's looking for you and trying to seek you out to show what he can give you. So in the last few minutes of the movie, there's this big epiphany that just kind of came out of nowhere. And that's where the movie ends. So anyway, I'm sorry, I'm reading Jonah Hex's comment. But anyway, yeah, like I said in my Letterboxd review, I kind of think if my grandmother and my mother were alive and I told them I finally saw Stromboli, they would say, "Oh, we never meant for you to actually look at the movie. We wanted you to see." You didn't know about the scandal behind the movie. It's like, yeah, I think the scandal was more interesting than the movie.
Yeah, and that's never a good thing, I think, when your movie's not as good.
No. And, you know, I don't know if I would ever look at another movie that would be Italian neo-realism.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. Oh, Lord.
So that's the only movies that I saw. All I have is a bunch of rants.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it.
Oh, not a problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tina, it's so great to hear you rant. It's almost like the sun rose in the east today.
Oh, well, speaking of sun rising in the east, because I don't know, did we even see any sun in the trailer to the Eternals? I mean, it was just kind of this turd-colored.
Somewhere with all the freaking characters.
Scenery. Yeah. I mean, and they're I'm tired of people saying, well, it was a teaser trailer. Well, a teaser trailer is not supposed to put me to sleep. Mm-hmm. A teaser trailer is supposed to make me want to see the actual trailer. So
it's supposed to make you want to watch the movie. They're both supposed to heighten your senses.
Well, I have no interest. I mean, Gary pulled a picture of the Eternals.
Oh, they're horrible.
From Jack Kirby's
comic.
So horrible. What I'm thinking of is the colors popping. Those colors are just like 1960s, boom, right at you. And Gary said as much as he disliked Ragnarok, at least Token Waititi had the color scheme down right.
Yeah.
Because the movie is just so bright and it's just at you. But this teaser trailer for the Eternals is like everything was brown and it's like what is this? And of course now Disney's backing up. Originally, Clownfish TV has said that originally every time you were supposed to talk about this director, Disney was like, "Oh, be sure to mention she's a Chinese national. Be sure to put that in your article now because that's important because this movie's going to be playing in China." And then they dig up this interview where she speaks out against China, and now they're like, "Oh, don't even talk about her now. No, don't even mention her now." Just I love it. I just love it. And then Midnight Sash saying this morning that if China decides that they want to seize Disney's parks in China, they can do it and Disney can do nothing. That's like music to my ear.
That is some sweet freaking karma.
I mean, so we had that, and then, yeah, Disney and China are going through their separation. I hope there aren't any children involved.
Oh.
I hope they hurt each other a lot. I'm just saying.
Okay, and then we find out, Disney decides to announce they're going to do a Predator prequel with a 90-pound girl soaking wet. If she's that. So what is she going to do against a predator?
Swimming, it sounds like.
She's gonna get eaten. She's going to go chomp and die.
Well, I mean, realistically, she'd be dead within a minute because they just rip her spine out.
Yeah.
But, oh no, she's going to be a powerful Comanche, and she's going against the system. And I know some people in comments were like, obviously Disney has never studied anything about the Comanches because they killed other tribes. They didn't care. They were very violent. So Disney trying to push forward their message.
Yeah.
Again. Okay, then China saying Stop sending us, oh yeah, that's scene 2 of Act 1 of my rants. Stop sending us ugly people. They looked at that trailer for that Chin Lee, Chung Fu, whatever the hell it's called, and they were like, why are all these people so ugly? Quit sending us all these ugly people. I don't want to see these ugly people either. Sorry. Okay, then we've got doubling down. We're going to have the Cruella cinematic universe because they've announced Cruella 2. We didn't even want Cruella 1.
That's kind of like that's the nature of the business, though. I mean,
I know.
They'll announce sequels and prequels and 5 movies for anything, even if it hasn't been released yet, right? I mean, that's just.
I kind of think this is like Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers announced Wonder Woman 3. Wonder Woman 3. I tried to forget 2. Right after Wonder Woman 2 flopped. So they're like, oh, we're going to triple down and give you number 3. No. I mean, is she going to grape somebody else?
Mm-hmm.
But no, we're going to get Cruella 2. And it's like, why? Quit trying to give this woman a backstory. I don't want her backstory.
Well, did they say it was gonna be a Cruella 2, like a basically a sequel to the prequel, or did they say that they were gonna do like it leading up to 101 Dalmatian story?
No, because there is supposed to be a sequel to this prequel.
Okay.
I looked at Captain Midnight's review on YouTube of the Cruella movie. He said, in a good, however you want to put the word problematic, it's causing problems because now it doesn't make 101 Dalmatians, the original animated movie, make any sense anymore.
Yeah, you're right.
And I was like, yeah, he's absolutely right. That is the only thing I'm going to accept is the original animated movie. I'm not going to accept the stupid Cruella. I'll never see it. I'm not going to go see a movie about a woman who skins puppies.
Mm-hmm.
When's Disney going to do a Jeffrey Dahmer movie then? When we're going to get our Charles Manson movie? When are we going to get the movie about that poor Austrian soldier who fought in World War I and got mustard gassed and heard about the Treaty of Versailles?
We just do some sweet movie where we make Bathory a hero while we're at it?
That'll be in 2025.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I'm just sick of it. Okay, so we've got that. Then they come out. That's what I said. It was like we did the Chosen show. It had nothing to rant about, and then it was like everything all dropped at once. Then we get the Powerpuff Girls live action that nobody asked for. Now I was grown when the original Powerpuff Girls came on, but I looked at the series on Hulu and really enjoyed it. And the 2016, I never looked at it because I heard it was an abomination. And I would watch Shadow Streak's YouTube channel. I highly recommend him. The guy knows his Powerpuff Girls. He knows what the lore is supposed to be. I heard him reading that live action script, and every other word out of his mouth was, I effing hate this. I mean, you could see his soul collapsing with every line he was reading because they've grown them up and turned them into sluts. And that's all they talk about. And they throw out little, I saw on somebody's Instagram. I saw on somebody's LinkedIn. And it was like stuff that's going to be outdated in 2 or 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. I'm just like, typical CW. And of course, at first people were thinking the script was a fake. And then Warner Brothers started slapping copyright violations. And then that's when everyone knew, okay, this is real. And then the CW president or whatever had to come out and like kind of cover his tracks. And like, we're rewriting the script, but it's the same 2 writers.
Mm-hmm. So
how's it going to be any different? We're still going to get the same filth. So one more franchise on the bonfire. Okay. Then we've got Daisy Ridley.
Tina, how many more you got?
Oh, this is about it.
Okay.
Daisy Ridley will kiss ass for money. Yes, I'll come back to Disney because my career's gone down the toilet. John Boyega. How fast do you need me to pick that cotton, Miss Kathleen and Mr. JJ?
Oh, Lord.
And of course, then, I'll just end it with, I'll end it with these two. Okay. JJ. We should have had a plan. You think, Sherlock? What is he trying to cover up? That all of a sudden, he's doing an interview for the anniversary of his movie, Super, whatever it was called. Don't care, JJ. It was an E.T. Close Encounters ripoff from the man whose kids you used to babysit. Don't care. But that's his chance to come out. Oh, yeah, we should have had a plan. I guess he's going to throw it all on KK. Yeah, she's part of the problem. You're part of the problem too, JJ, destroyer of franchises. Hollywood Antichrist. Can't finish anything.
JJ is the angel of death. He's the freaking Grim Reaper. Whatever he touches will freaking die.
Okay, I almost said something nasty when I was thinking he can't finish anything. I'm going to stop there.
Okay.
I thought it too, so at least we're on the same page here, girl.
All I'm going to say is he's a freaking racist.
Oh.
He came out in favor of Black Lives Matter, told people, I'm like, okay, well, which half of me is supposed to give up white privilege? I guess it's the white half of me because the other half is black. So he wants to talk about white privilege. Let's do this, JJ. Let's drag you out of your mansion with your ugly Me Too wife. Yes, she's one of the founders of that garbage. Your ugly kid that you got involved in Spider-Man somehow. Let's drag them out, make them do a shame walk, put him in a box, put it under a bridge and say, that's not for white privilege, JJ. That's because you're a piece of filth.
Does he really want to go there? I could go there. Let's talk about what the real issues are right now in this country. If you want to deal with race, let's talk about abolishing these freaking reservations and stopping the kidnappings on the res because the government won't let them protect themselves.
JJ is just he's a parasite. The only reason why people know him is because of Steven Spielberg. So yes, I'll blame Spielberg for giving the world this person.
That's quite a blame to take.
And then Mission Impossible production got shut down because somebody tested positive for COVID.
Which hurts my feelings because I can't wait for the next one. I want to see what Tom Cruise does next.
I'm going Tom Cruise rant in 3, 2,
Tom
1.
Cruise sucks.
I told you all this was gonna happen. Did I tell you people this before? We are the gold standard, people, the gold standard. All of you are fired. I'll just do this movie myself. I'm Tom freaking Cruise anyway. I'm done.
I love you, girl. There's a reason why I hang out with you more.
Much love to Tina, Empress of the Universe, mod of the channel. Thank you as always for being here.
Tom, you're right. I should kick something, you know.
No, because then you'll do damage to something, and and they're not worth it. They're not worth it. They're not worth that damage. So.
So anyway, So didn't see many movies, but had a bunch of rants. So there.
Absolutely. Well, thank you as always for being here, and of course for being one of the best mods in the business, as they say. We did have a donation from It's a Trap Productions. So, It's a Trap Productions, thank you very much for the $10 donation via Streamlabs. He says, for the Kingdom of Asgard and all of its amazing denizens. Well, thank you very much, man. I'll have that pop up again on the screen for people to see you. So, again, check out It's a Trap Productions. He is good people. All right, Laura, what you been watching recently?
Oh, hi. I don't have a lot of time. The kid is on his way.
Okay.
On her way. Excuse me. I misgendered my own kid.
Wow.
Cancelled.
I don't even know
Cancelled.
where to go with that.
thanks for this, whatever this was. Listen to.
I'm trying to figure out how you misgender your own kid.
Well, I mean, after a stream where the starting off, like, I could see it. I could see it.
Oh, it's just gonna yield my time to Tina. So.
Thank you.
Like in a parliamentary kind of procedure. I'm reclaiming my time.
I'm reclaiming my time. I would like to reserve my time for the gentleman from Missouri. I don't know why I go to Missouri every time, but from the gentleman from Missouri.
Weird.
The accents that just randomly come out of Odin. Russian, Southern.
Yes, I am a Russian from Missouri. It happens.
You are Russian and full of misery? What'd you say?
I am Russian from Missouri.
Missouri?
No, I was good with the other way I said it.
Sure.
That's one of my favorite pastimes is going to movies where people have a Southern accent. It just like, oh wow, it's so bad. You like hear their English accent slip out.
Yes.
Like Cold Mountain. Oh my.
Oh my God.
If you need help, here I am.
So bad.
But have you been watching anything recently?
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen a lot of stuff. I don't know if anything's like super worth dissecting. We saw that Dream Horse movie yesterday.
Dream Horse.
So yeah, it's based on a true story about a small town that kind of, I think it's in England. They come together and pool their money together to buy a racehorse. So yeah.
Interesting. Is that in theaters or is that on demand?
It might be on demand somewhere, but we saw it in the theater.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're still enjoying going back to the theater again?
Oh yeah, I think sometime next week they're opening everything up, so that's gonna be nice.
Very exciting. Yeah. Anything else you got to see in theaters?
Well, yeah, I did. Only because I theater hopped. I did sit through Cruella, which was, oh my God, so bad.
So you can speak from the actual experience of having to go through it.
Yeah, I just was like, why? If they had just take the Disney, Dalmatian stuff out of it, you could have actually had a decent movie between those two actresses, because the chemistry between the two of them was really interesting.
Yeah, because you do have, like, again, with the two Emmas, right? The Emma Stone and Emma Thompson. You have two very capable people there, but that's interesting how it's almost. You know how sometimes they do that where Hollywood will take a script and then they'll say, oh, let's adopt this to a different unrelated story and still somehow make it work. I'm wondering if they did that and they're like, oh, we have the story.
I think that might have been the case here where they were like, oh, we can Disneyfy this and really mess it up. So that'll be great.
We'll just do our thing, right?
Oh, yeah. And then, setting it in like London with the punk scene, that would have worked like really well. I find myself doing that lately. All these movies I see, it's like, if they had just done this and done that there, and would have been a good movie. It had possibility. But yeah, I mean, Emma Stone really did throw herself into whatever that was that they made for her.
So I don't know exactly what it was, but she tried.
She went off. I've never seen Emma Thompson play a villain before, as far as I can remember.
Yeah.
So that was different.
Yeah, because I'm trying to now that you mentioned it, I'm trying to think about that too. Similar to like Morgan Freeman, like people that typically don't play like a villainous character.
I see everything she's in. I love her.
Yeah,
she's
incredibly talented. Now I have to ask because I've only ever seen this one clip from this movie. Is the death of Cruella's mom as bad as it looked on?
Oh yeah, Twitter? The CGI dogs are just. I was like. Is this the best that you can do? Poor Walt. He's rolling around in his grave constantly at this point. But
absolutely, right? And
I mean,
go ahead.
If you go back and you see like how they used to make the animations, like with the cells, and they just had to take a photo of one cell at a time. It's like the labor that they always put into their projects. Back in the day, and then you have like a bunch of CGI dogs. It's like you can't find a dog that can run down a hallway. Seriously.
Well, because also too, isn't there a like obviously there's the CGI Dalmatians, but in that scene when she gets pushed off the cliff, isn't Cruella also holding like a CGI dog?
Yeah, they have this like weird random like brown dog that I don't know why, but she kind of carries it around, and I don't think it's in that scene. I don't remember, but yeah, like throughout the movie, there are all these different like random dogs that just it looks so horrible. It's like this completely takes you out of the whole thing.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. That was pretty much me the whole movie. I was like, wow, this is really bad.
Yeah. It's like
then,
I don't understand why so many studios do that. It just doesn't make any sense.
But yeah, there was that recent movie with Harrison Ford.
Yeah, that was a Fox. It was the Fox movie that had been picked up like right. It was like one of the first movies that was made by Fox to come out under the Disney era, and the CGI was just, so bad.
Yeah. And then I did see a movie that Tina recommended.
Oh.
That Age of Innocence, Tina.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I told you. I told you.
So Age of Innocence was good.
Yeah, she did a pretty good breakdown. I've never seen a man take a woman's glove off and have it be so sexual. My goodness.
I do declare.
Oh my.
Oh my.
It was so beautiful. And then Laura texted me on Discord and she was ranting about the ending, and I said, I told you were going to hate the ending.
Oh god. I mean, I didn't really expect it to be that deep. I went into it thinking it was just a period piece. And at the end I was like, I've got to watch that again. Oh, the movie was so good. The ending I was like, oh no. I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen it, but yeah. I was texting Tina a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, so this Daniel Day-Lewis, he's married, or he is married to Winona Ryder's character, but he of course falls in love with Michelle Pfeiffer because she's Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yes.
Come on.
Yes.
And so they try to have this like secret, affair, and at one point they're in a carriage together. So of course, they're riding in a carriage together, Daniel Day-Lewis and Michelle Pfeiffer, but they can't really do anything because people can see. So he reaches over and he like slowly takes her glove off so he can hold her hand. It was just like, whoa. Because they're both sitting there trying to be like nonchalant about it. And, Tina knows what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, I'm visualizing it right now.
Your mom was right, Tina.
Oh my god, yeah, she was.
Oh Lord. Anything else you were able to watch?
Just a bunch of stuff, kind of fluffy, nothing really.
Okay.
Nomadland was good, and
yeah.
There's a series on Netflix. I think it's Netflix. No, HBO Max. The Mayor of Easttown.
I've seen the promotion for that. Yeah, I haven't watched it yet. Is it good?
Yeah, good. It's a single season. Good. Kate Winslet plays a detective, kind of a small Pennsylvania town. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody's related. Murder mystery. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
Nice.
It's weird to see Kate Winslet be kind of gruff and scruffy like that, though.
Wow.
Interesting.
She eats a lot of hoagies and vapes and drinks a lot of beer.
Oh.
So.
Yeah, that is not very Kate Winslet.
No. Like the opposite of Titanic.
Like every time I think of Kate Winslet, like that's typically like the the sweet, like prim and like proper and everything like that, and it's like no, doing different stuff now.
I almost wonder if that was a guy's role and they changed it over because I don't know.
Yeah, would have made more sense if it had been a guy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know, being an L, I know a lot of people like that. That's why I thought that they were going with it. And I was like, oh, she's family. And I was like, oh, no, she's not. Never
Well, Snort Poopus says, hoagies and beer sound good. So
I know. I was so every time she started eating, I was just like, "Oh, that looks so good." Want a hoagie now?
I want the hoagie.
You want the hoagie?
I want the hoagie. Anything else exciting to talk about?
Oh, that's about it, I guess.
Okay.
The kid's coming any minute now. She's supposed to be here at noon.
Oh, kids.
An hour and a half to whatever time she tells me she's going to be here.
That's what I used to always have to do when I was in high school, and I would be typically the one that would plan events, and typically I'd always give a time, or like an hour before the movie started, and it would usually be enough time to get tickets and things like that, especially when the weekends were very busy at the theater and everything. And I'd always make it like an extra 30 or 45 minutes earlier because it was usually the women would always just show up like 15 minutes before the show, and then it's like it's sold out. Now we have to see something else, or yeah, it's funny because the first movie because I mean, I've sneaking into movies, like I've done the whole movie like theater hopping thing before, but like I would always get like popcorns, like I'd always give money to the theater, so I never looked at it in the same way. But the only movie that I had like sneak into wasn't like a rated R movie or anything like that. No. The movie that I snuck into was The Haunted Mansion with Eddie Murphy.
Oh my God.
And I had to sneak in because I was dating someone at the time, and people showed up late, and it was sold out. And so we had to get like a ticket to something else, and that was the only way to get in. And apparently enough people had snuck into that where they swept the first 5 rows, like the 2 that are like right up next to the screen, and then the 2 like actual like front rows, and a bunch of people didn't have tickets. And so they kicked a bunch. So they missed me by a row. But that, it's the first and only movie that I technically like actually like snuck into. And yeah, it was Eddie Murphy in The Haunted Mansion.
He was big. Everybody forgets how big he was back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was the guy.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We snuck into Purple Rain back when I was a kid. That was so much fun.
Nice.
Because it was rated R. I could get in.
Yeah.
Like,
much more risque than Haunted Mansion.
It didn't need to be rated R. That was just completely unnecessary.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, you're right.
I actually looked away from the screen. I was like, ew, I don't want to see this. Should have been my first clue.
Yeah, someone mentioned Pluto Nash. Yeah, so I think Pluto Nash is the one that kind of like did in the momentum that he was having. Either that or Norbert. Do I remember Norbert?
Remember that movie.
I remember Norbert.
It's when he played. Yeah, he played like a geeky guy, but then he also played the girlfriend who was like in the fat, like, so he was in a fat suit and everything like that, and there was like some really bad CG. I think that was one of the ones where it was like, oh no, he's done.
Yeah, that latest Coming to America 2 wasn't good at all.
That's what I've heard. And I heard Dolomite, the one that he did the other year, was pretty good. Like, my name is Dolomite, or Call My Name Dolomite, or something like that.
Yeah, I'd like to see him get back on the stage and do some stand-up, though.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, so that's about it for today.
Nice.
That's all I got.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, thank you for being here, as always, and for always having the support. And with that, let's just go down the line and say our goodbyes, because I need to take care of some things. I've been getting some notifications from the wife about apparently I'm missing some big moments in baby Thor's life. So yeah.
Don't say goodbye. Just go.
No. It's fine. It's not happening like at this moment. Like it was happening a while back, but it'll happen again. So I'm not worried. And she sent me a video and everything. So we're okay. We're okay. But we can say our goodbyes. But let's just go down the line and So Rosetta Allen, what you got to say? Any last second thoughts?
My back hurts and I'm tired. Let's wrap this up.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. We can check out Rosetta Allen and support her work and support her channel. And thank you, as always, Rosetta, for being here.
Hey, I gotta be here.
Appreciate it. We also got.
Gosh.
We also got.
I was.
What you got?
I was just thinking about it. Does this actually? Is it this month or next month that hits 2 years of me in here with you?
I'm not sure. Yeah.
I'd have to check that.
Yeah. We'll find that out.
2 years of streaming with me. Are you sick of me yet?
But say I've been 3 years of streaming with myself, and sometimes
I'd be sick
sometimes
of you
I get
too.
sick of myself. Sometimes I get sick of myself. Thank you for being here. I always appreciate it. We also got the K-Man. I just posted the link if you want to go support the K-Man. He's doing an awesome job doing raising awareness and money for suicide prevention. So there's a link there if you want to support him. He's doing a all-night walk, essentially, is what it is. So anything else that you want to say before we go, K-Man?
Pretty much just thank you for having this stream and allowing us to talk about just about whatever, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
And since this is a special day that many people already know about, give a shout out to all the ones that sacrifice every day, leading all the way back to D-Day, and ones that not only they fought, but they gave the true sacrifice, trying to fight for what they believed in.
Mm-hmm. Amen, brother. Absolutely. And as always, thank you very much for being here. And obviously, you got the link. You can find more information and support him. And also, you can find him on Twitter at the K-Man and also at xtheboundaries.co. So, K-Man, thank you again for being on.
No problem. Thank you.
Absolutely. We also have the Empress of the Universe, Tina.
Well, I will just say ditto to what K-Man, sorry, put my phone down for a second. What K-Man was saying, June 6th is one of those dates that just sticks in my brain as a history buff. And it was kind of fun a few years ago when I went through the Churchill War Rooms in London, and you see his gear that he had. He was going to go on the landing. And they were like, Mr. Prime Minister, you can't if anything happens to you. But yeah, you see the outfit he had that he was going to wear because he was going with them. And no. Winston, you can't do that. So I didn't have any relatives that were at the Normandy invasion. I had some that fought in the Japanese theater. I had my one relative that I've spoken about that he was there when they freed up one of the death camps. He was never the same after that. So yeah, this is one of those days, that and December 7th, that it's just something you need to remember.
Mm-hmm.
And then on a lower note, not as important as D-Day, but today should have been when I left on my Alaska cruise. And of course, it looks like they're trying to get the Alaska season started. But too late for us. But I am very much looking forward to my Greek cruise next year. So fingers crossed, and I will wish all of you Kaligita good evening.
Well, thank you very much, Tina, for being here, for being an awesome moderator, one of the Valks in the chat. Always appreciate that. And
thank you.
And I'm again looking out, hoping for the Greek cruise to go ahead without any delay and any interruption whatsoever, for sure. So thank you very much. I think Laura had to drop out. I know that she had been waiting on family. So Laura, thank you as always for being here to support the channel and for being awesome and amazing, and that goes, of course, for everyone. Shout out to Mr. Roy again for being on here earlier. And so all the other chosen, because there are other chosen who either because of time constraints or other things like that can't make it on. And so thank you all very much. And also a thank you to the audience. Again, apologies for the technical issues earlier. I do plan to test things out much more thoroughly next time before trying to make a major shift like that. But thank you again for your tremendous patience with that. And shouting out, of course, Tom, thank you for being here in the chats. Just another red shirt, one of my members, Dadman Walking 55, showing up too. Thank you also, Hunky Chunky, Funky Monkey, new number 2. And, of course, everyone else who has been active in the chat today. JKD76, absolutely. And as everyone's been saying the last couple, right, about remembering, of course, all the lives have been lost, not just, of course, D-Day, but for, all those soldiers, kind of in line with last week, too. All those who have sacrificed themselves, who have put themselves at risk, and especially also for the veterans who are still around and who need our love, our support, and our prayers also. And I guess on one final note, I will just say that we should, in the words of, the entire, I'm trying to think of which one it was, whether it's, I think it's Excellent Adventure, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. We should be excellent to each other. And I've been seeing a lot of negativity, not just the last couple of days, but last few weeks. There's been a lot of craziness happening on social media, and between YouTube channels and things like that. And all I can say is, I don't like getting involved in that kind of stuff, which is why I typically don't post things, opinions, or sides or anything like that. But all I'll say is just be kind to one another. We only have one life, and it's one of those things where if we're spending a lot of time going after people, trying to tear people down, we're missing out on a lot of time where we could be trying to build each other up. So be excellent to each other. Exactly right, K-Man. And, of course, party on, dudes, but most especially, to be as supportive as we possibly can, and to just, again, be kind. Sometimes being kind to someone is more than enough to help them in whatever situation they might be in. I had someone over, so I'm not going to address exactly what they said, but there was someone who was over on Odyssey who was going back and forth with me about something, so I just wanted to just make it very clear that, again, we should support each other. And with that, I'll go ahead and shout out some people. So these are my members at the Army of Asgard level and above. Riff Magos, Wicked Plumber. Now he's just Buttcrack. I feel like he's changing his name every day. I feel like he's doing it just because he knows that I have to read it at the end of every stream, and that it's going to be different at the end of every stream. Sean McD, Mondo Spieler, Gomer Kyle79, Your Muslim Uncle, Kara Tharp, Eric Jewett, Rich the Savior, Dadman Walking 55, M Tack Shark, Forever Sci-Fi, Rosie G12, Andrew Hoyle, Eric K, Orange Hat Reviews, Adam Avery, Jay Stowe, and Aiden Vickery. Thank you all very much for being an amazing group of people, and to all of the other members on the channel as well. Thank you all very much for your love and for your support. We will, of course, have our Good Morning Asgard stream tomorrow. Though a quick note about that. It looks like that will be shifting up just 15 minutes to 9 a.m. because we're probably going to start Baby Thor on a new schedule because he's been having a bit of a rough last couple of days, and we are looking to see if we might need to shift him to a new schedule to see if that helps. So again, pretty much not that much different, just about 15 minutes or so. So yeah, 9 a.m. Eastern time. So hey, it's a little bit later in the day, right? 15 minutes
may or may not
still
be
9 a.m. in the morning for some people, right? Exactly. But yeah, remember that will be on Odyssey, right? So that's going to be an Odyssey exclusive stream, and I'll be playing around probably with Restream, things like that, and so we'll see how those things go. And so again, shout out and thank you to Rosetta, Alan, ZK Man, and Tina, and of course also to Laura, and Mr. Roy. Y'all have been great. And everyone watching, thank you all very much for being supportive. Drop that like and smash that like button. Light up that fire button if you're watching over on Odyssey. It does indeed mean a lot. You guys are all amazing, beautiful people. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend, of your Sunday. And as always, God bless. And now for a huge shout out to all of my June Patreon and Subscribestar members: Andrew Hoyle, Biffer the Hobbit, Brian P., Dion, Don Bruno de la Mancha, Enrique Evangelista, Father Christopher Miller, hail to you, Father, Father Damian Cook, Garrett Searles, Inflamed Wood, It's a Trap Productions, Jason Clark, Jacob Juice, Jeffrey Toone, Jonathan Carney, Laura the Modern Major General's Story, Mike Jackson, Mad Mitch Dunaway, Mr. Peabody and his evil twin with the beautiful hair, On to June, Orange Hat Reviews, Out of Step with Reality, Priscilla Hall, Riff Magos, Rosetta Allen, Teresa Martin, Theodore Bendon, and rather Teresa Martin is Miss Martin Muses now, Tina Bojan, Tina B., and Washington Madranda. Thank y'all very much for being my supporters on Patreon. And to my Subscribestar peeps, Fast Reaction, Nosferatu Gatsu, Stand For, John B., Perpetual Punster, Mr. Roy, Glinzer, J. Alex McCarthy Jr., Dean Heiss / The New Number 2, J. Rod the Beer Guru, Nevanon G. Adams, and ZK Man. Thank you all very much for being my Subscribestar members. And if you want your name shouted out at the end of every video and live stream, please consider joining on Patreon or Subscribestar. You also get access at other tiers to things like a bi-monthly podcast, bi-weekly, twice a month podcast that I do with John the Flick Pick Flickinger, which is a lot of fun. There's also a tier in which you can join me once a month for the Chosen of Valhalla live stream, where you all get to, at that level, join me for discussions, talk about any projects that you might be working on, or just hang out and have a good time. It's a lot of fun. And also, too, for many of those levels, you also get access to a giveaway section on the Discord server, where you get access to giveaways of things like 4K movies, digital codes, and tons of other stuff like that. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, check out the links in the description and sign up over on Patreon and Subscribestar. You guys are all amazing and beautiful people. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and as always, God bless.